Toyota 86 and its technological predecessor, Subaru GC8 WRX. Now, these two cars, while they're both from theoretically different companies, Subaru did a lot of the engineering on this, in fact most of it. So they've both got very similar wheelbases, a lot of similar technical details, both flat box bores with 2-litre displacement, and they're both designed as lightweight, fun cars.
Oh yeah, we should probably mention that the GC8 over here is not 100% standard. It's the main difference from stock is that it's got bigger sway bars front and rear, and most importantly the bias has been changed, so it's more rear bias than it came from the factory. You'll probably notice that in the videos.
So basically what he's saying is that he's tried to make his Rexy handle like an 86.
But pretty much,
yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
After we had finished our banter, it was time to get driving in the 86.
A lot of the time you hear talk about the power of the Toyota 86. Now everyone says, oh yeah, great handling car, power's not great. Now, the power is not good for the straight line vehicle, okay? It's simply put, it's not going to win any drag races. But it's still faster than your average road car. People miss the point. For the money, you are still getting a decently quick car. Now, when you're in the tight corners, the power is more than sufficient. And you can easily, we're in the dry today, and you can easily step the back out on demand in a corner as long as you know what you're doing. It really teaches you good driving technique, and you can get immense levels of feel from all over the car. So the transmission is really nice, as you know. Pedals are nice. I like to heel and toe everywhere, so it's good to have a car that can meet my demands. And as you can see, it's that easy to get sideways. It is so easy. Oh, and now we have a WRX to catch. It's a bit unstable under brakes. The tire sidewalls are a bit flexy. Lots of people complain about the tires on the 86, but I feel they're complaining about them for the wrong reason. They often complain about the overall level of grip, whereas the real problem with them is actually the flex in the sidewall. The sidewalls in these tires flex an awful lot. Like when you're cornering hard, the turn-in is sharp, but then you have your tire wall flopping all over the place. It's a bit of an issue. I drove one of these earlier in the year in Japan, and I was going down the highway at a high speed, and I hit the brakes because the car pulled into my lane, and the thing was all over the place. By the time I got down to 100, it was quite a scary event. Like, fun for the track, not so much for the road. I could do with a bit more stability. But the grip level is perfectly judged. The steering is pretty sharp in the 86. It's no race car, but for a road car, very nice, especially with the price bracket. Now what you've got to remember is that in Australia, the Toyota 86 is a really, really cheap car, okay? It's about, this is the top of the range model with all the spec and everything. This is about $40,000. You compare that to something like an MX-5, which you're looking at a starting price of over $45,000. This is a really, really cheap car. It's cheaper than the Golfs, it's cheaper than everything, and that's what makes it so amazing. But lots of people complain about the practicality of the 86. It's not really an issue. You can fit 4 people in here. I've done it multiple times. The boot has a lot of room. You can actually fit a whole person in the boot. Like, it's not an impractical car for what it is. The thing is that it's a car you can get sideways every single day of the week. You don't just have to go out on the track to get it sideways. You don't have to go on track to sharpen the tail. You're just driving it around, yank it into a corner, let that tail loosen up. And the great thing is, the stability control down here, it's all just one button, on, off kind of thing. Well, for full off, you got to hold it for 5 seconds, but really not that bad compared to other systems. Some other little niggling things about it. The heater, the car always, when you're going along, if you allow the air to flow through the car and don't use the aircon, the air coming into the car is hot. That's not really good. You don't really want your air to be hot coming into your vehicle. So, a few other little things. The touchscreen system isn't perfect. It's not bad, it's not perfect. But like, for the price, you're getting a pretty decent level of spec in a car that handles this nicely. You just feel it loosening up a bit. See, the low level of grip just allows you to get playful with it on road.
After having some fun in the 86, it was time to see how the WRX compared. Okay, so we are in the Rexy now. So, first thing you notice is the steering is a lot looser and softer. Second thing you notice is the power is a lot better. Oh my god, there is no steering feedback at all. And off boost, not so good. In the Rexy, you sit a lot higher than you do in the 86. It's kind of a very different feel. It feels like you're driving a sedan on steroids.
Which it is.
Which you are. You are actually driving a sedan on steroids. Let's see, we're at 2,500 RPM now in second gear. And now if I boot it, nothing, builds, and then the top end flattens out a lot. Brakes much more stable than the 86, much more confidence inspiring because it doesn't have that stupid tyre sidewall flop. Yeah, you pretty much, in the 86 it tells you what you're doing and you respond accordingly. In the Rexy, you kind of just guess,
Floor it.
hope for the best, floor it, and just hope that the thing will pull you out of it. Heel and toe position is quite good, and it definitely does pull harder than the 86. You actually get a little bit of being thrown back in your seat. It doesn't turn in like an 86. It just doesn't do it. Even with all the ARBs and the stickier tires, it just does not turn in like an 86. You can, if you throw it around hard enough, it will reward you. But you gotta
throw it and munch on the brake pedal.
Yeah, you've got to throw and munch on the brake pedal. You can't, in the 86, you can just throw it. You don't have to worry about anything. You just throw the thing around. And it is a lot quicker. Okay, so the Rexy is basically a car that has to be thrown with the brake pedal if you want it to have some fun. You just can't get away with just relying on the car to magically fix itself. Which is interesting because I guess in some respects that makes it more of a driver's car.
It requires more advanced driving techniques to really get the most out of it.
It's a lot of turns lock to lock, like do-do-do-do-do-do. Look at me. And yes, there's more mid-range power, but you know, in the top end, I reckon the 86.
It's not much different.
Yeah, it's not too different in the top end. The Rexy has that lovely mechanical throttle. I think you can't top a mechanical throttle.
Nope.
They did a good job with the 86 with their electronic throttle, but you're not going to beat mechanical. It's not going to happen. After driving both cars, it was time to discuss which we preferred. Okay, so let's talk Rexy versus 86. So, obviously the Rexy has it on the power.
Well, at least the mid-range.
At least the mid-range, not so much the upper end. But the 86 has a really nice low driving position, good pedal placement. It's got, well, they both have good pedal placement, that's going for them.
It's true.
The 86 has much better steering, much better.
I think that's probably the
That's
area that you notice the most with the steering.
Yeah, that's definitely the most notable area. So the rear-wheel drive is obviously a notable area.
Yeah, well, anyone that's familiar with all-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive, you'll see the same story between these two cars. It's no different to any other comparison, really.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, the one area where the Rexy probably does have the 86 is the braking. Not only do the brakes not fade as much, but just it generally feels, and this is partly down to the floppy tyre sidewalls on the 86, it feels much more stable under braking, particularly mid-corner braking.
Yes, well, I think it's an area that won't be too hard to improve upon. really, in the 86.
That's the advantage. The 86 is a good canvas to start from if you're looking to improve things like
Exactly.
that. The little bit more power, stiffer tyre sidewalls needs that, and it'll be amazing. But
I
no
think it'll
more
be
grip.
interesting to see what the bushings will be like once the stiffer tyre sidewalls are put in. Because you can't be sure exactly where all the flex is coming from at the moment. Could be partially from the tyre and partially from the bushings. It's a later episode, may go over that in a year or however long it takes this guy to get through his premises.
Yeah, pretty much when it's got some new tyres on it. And practicality, obviously, Subaru wins that.
That's not really a contest, is it?
That's not really a contest. But so, if you had to pick one, which would you take?
Well, I mean, it's no secret that I want to get a BRZ sometime towards the end of this year or next year. Obviously, I've got the WRX because budget-minded, but I don't think you can go past the rear-wheel drive platform.
Yeah, I don't think you can go past rear-wheel drive. I think the low grip makes it fun. The sharpness makes it fun. The steering is just great. Everything just works. I think that's
But
awesome.
for cheap thrills, 11k gets you a GC8.
Yeah, plus an extra 2k in mods.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, 11k, 2k mods. If you're looking for low price, get a GC8. You'll have something pretty sweet to have in the meantime. Until you can afford the 86. Then you buy the 86. This car has a very special water spray fitted to its intercooler. It's got the windscreen wipers ring-tight. We'll be doing a special on it later in the season, don't worry. For this long, without a hand on the wheel, just occasionally tweak it with one hand. That's not a good sign in the sports car.
It's a comfortable car.
Comfortable, yeah. That's what you buy this car for. You buy this car for comfort, and it's ridiculous anti-roll bars that break most people's spines over potholes. But it's alright, because it's got light steering. You know, that just fixes all the comfort issues. Lighten the steering, car more comfortable. I'm used to the car with tighter steering, so when I go to do my turn in, I only have to go foot instead of hand over hand, pass it around.
GC8 is not 100.
That's a rarity.
That's going to be
That's going to be very good. Trucks overtaking cars.